Alrighty. Howdy Neighbors and welcome back to Corpse Party Blood Drive. Last time we finished with the prologue. So now we're gonna move on to chapter 1. Returning. God fucking damn it! I don't want to! Immediate hatred. Hello, thank you. A day has passed since the events at Shimoijaku South Apartments. It was to be a significant turning point for me, and Mochida might have been a part of it from the start. Except that fate seemed to have other plans for him. Ms. Kuon, I have something pressing I need to get to, so if you'll excuse me, I need to get the fuck out of here.
ダメ。サトシ君、昨日の唾液の小テスト、ちょっと残念な点数だったでしょ?
Okay, I don't like her hair. It's the braid in the back that really gets me. Like, the front is fine. If the braid was short, it would be so cute. Her outfit is cute, but it's just the braid in the back. No, you sit back down. Satoshi, your score on that algebra quiz yesterday was rather embarrassing, don't you think? I can order training a puppy. Guan gave him a strong glare and held her index finger in reprimand.
今から1時間、私の授業に集中しなさい。そうしたら、次の小テストも解けるようになるから。
For the next hour, oh fuck, I'm going to give you a personal lecture, and you're going to listen. And then, the next quiz will be a snapped pass.
先生って英語科でしょ? 大気なんて専門外じゃん。
But are you an English teacher? Isn't algebra a bit outside of your field of expertise?
一生懸命教えるからできるよ。
Anything is possible if you put your mind to it. She seemed a little taken aback by the remark, puffing up her cheeks like a chipmunk in protest.
いや、先生。
But Miss Kwan.
先生ってゆい先生そっくりだな。
It's startling how alike she and Miss Yui are.
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry. Thinking both bemused and guilty, Mochida tried to get up to leave his seat in one swift motion, but he was quickly and easily caught, put up, and forcefully sat back down.
ダメ。
Kuan was smiling. She was actually enjoying
なん
this.
だこの先生。
Who or what am I dealing with here? Miss Kuan is only the slightest bit taller than Mochida. This did make her taller than the average, but her arms are small and frail. There seemed to be no way she could possibly have lifted someone of his build. The whole situation was rather bewildering for him, and he made no attempt to hide his confusion.
さあ、始めるよ。
Now, let's begin, shall we?
はい。
Yes, ma'am. He had no other option. Apparently, he was going to be studying algebra for the next hour, come hell or high water. Meanwhile, over here, at a local cafe near the school, Kishinuma and I were sitting down to speak with Aiko Niwa, the informant who'd led my friends to me the previous night.
大丈夫？お腹でも痛いの？
Alright, does your stomach hurt? I responded with a dismissive gesture, while continuing to rub my abdomen with her other hand. Ever since the previous night, I had a constant unbearable urge to pee.
昨日怖い思いして過呼吸が続いたから体がおかしいのかな。
What the hell is wrong with me? I mean, I know I got really scared and I hyperventilated. But can that affect my body like this? Did it change something in me?
ずっと膀胱が膨らんでる気がする。
Her bladder feels like it's fit to burst.
何から話そうかしら。
So, shall we begin? Aiko tilted her head and stared at me, looking me up and down, seemingly judging my every mannerism, my every movement. It made me feel really self-conscious. I covered my abdomen with both hands, as if guarding it from her gaze.
昨日は がとうございました。
Thank you very much for your help yesterday.
いいえ、大したことはしていないわ。如月学園って案外広いので、岸沼くんたちを探すのに少し手間取ってしまったわ。
Think nothing of it. I only regret that your friends couldn't get to you sooner. Kisaragi Academy is quite large, so it took some time to track down Kishinuma and the others. Kishinuma and I stared at one another, still unsure how to feel about the stranger's new addition to our entourage.
あゆみちゃん、岸沼くん。あなたたちって天神小学校の生還者よね。
Ayumi, Kishinuma, you two are survivors from Heavenly Host Elementary, are you not? We'd pledged never to discuss Heavenly Host with anyone else, which we'd always assumed would be an easy promise to keep. But now, casually and out of the blue, here we are.
なんであんたそのことを
Why, how did you know about that?
あなたたち死後の世界に接してきたでしょう。通常人間には身につかないオーラの色をしているわ。私には見えるの。
Well, we've been touched by the ever after. When people come into contact with the beyond, the color of their auras changes to something otherworldly. Something I can see. Both Kishinuma and I were speechless. I just sat there staring at my palm, subconsciously trying to see my aura, I guess. Like I was smiling at us triumphantly.
愛子さんは霊能関係の情報屋でナホさんのお友達なんですよね。
You said you were an intelligence agent, was it? For the supernatural and your friend of Naho's.
ええ、ナホちゃんに天神小学校の情報を提供したのは私。
That's correct. I'm the one that tipped her off about Heavenly Host Elementary, in fact. The true source of the deaths and subsequent erasures that had turned our lives to a living nightmare was the Sachiko Ever After ritual posted on Naho's occult blog. I've been a fan of Naho's for quite some time, so when I saw that, I knew I had to try it out with my friends from class 2-9. And as a result, half of the friends are now gone.
ナホちゃんが響先生のために霊能探偵をやっていたことは知っているわよね。
I suppose you're aware that Naho was involved in supernatural investigations on behalf of one Mr. Kibiki, no?
はい。幸せの幸子さんの情報が掲載されてから失踪されたことも。
I am. And I know she hasn't been seen since posting information on the Sachiko Ever After.
私はね、心霊スポットや霊能関係の情報を集めて、それを欲しがる人に有償で提供してきた。
Well, my business is of a similar nature. I gather data from spiritual hotspots and other supernatural locales and sell that data to my clients for a fair profit.
報酬はお金、もしくは私の興味をそそる霊具の類。相手によってふっかけ方も変えるけれど。
Not always money, mind you. Sometimes I'll do my dirty work in exchange for a particular spirit item that perks my interest. It all depends on whom I'm dealing with.
まあ、ギブアンドテイクよね。向こうは情報が欲しい。私はお金と霊具が欲しい。
It's entirely give or take. They want my information and I want their cash. Or their artifacts. Physically, Aiko was a very attractive young lady, but personality-wise, the jury was still out. Her words were calculated and motionless, her true intentions a mystery. She just said what they were.
だから私は情報屋をやっているの。ナホちゃんもいいお客さんだったわ。あの子が最後に買ったのが天神小学校の情報。
One could call me an information dealer, but I prefer an intelligence agent. And Naho was a good customer. My info on Heavenly Host proved to be her last purchase, however.
ナホちゃん、これで響先生の小説がなんとか賞を取れるってすごくはしゃいでた。
At the time, Naho was single-mindedly excited about Mr. Kibiki's work. She believed he could qualify for some award with the information I found for her.
ねえ、教えてくれる？あなたたちの閉じ込められたあの異空間にナホちゃんはいた？
Say, could you tell me, was Naho there, in that other world you found yourself trapped in?
ナホさんはキビキ先生と一緒に亡くなっていました。
Naho died, together with Mr. Kibiki. I looked down as I answered. Despite everything she'd done, the memory of Naho's passing was still painful for me. She'd become one of Heavenly Host's lost souls and gone completely berserk. In the end, I was the one who finished her off.
そうやっぱりね。
I see. I assumed as much. Aiko seemed completely unaffected by the revelation. Her tone remained even and her expression cold and distant. Honestly, I'd had about enough of her by this point. She was so devoid of empathy. It was almost offensive. I was genuinely starting to get pissed off.
平気なんですか？
And you're okay with that?
残念だと思うわ。でも予想はついていたからわざわざ取り乱す必要もないでしょ。
I do feel sorry for her, don't get me wrong. But I had a strong feeling things would end this way. There's no point in lamenting that for which I was fully prepared. Kishinuma continued to stare intently at Aiko, with his own brand of cold, emotionless eyes. He was oddly quiet, though his anger was palpable. I clenched my fist.
じゃこの子はおまじないを一緒に行ったと思うんだけどあっちにはいたかしら。
What about this girl? I believe she performed the ritual alongside Naho. Did you see her there as well? No, Sayaka! Aiko showed us a photo of a girl named Sayaka Ue.
いえ、会ってないからわかりません。
No, I can't say I ever met her.
そう
I see. Aiko's expression was so unfaltering. You could carve it in stone. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something.
ナホさんのことお客さんだなんて、そんなの友達って言わないと思います。
If you're calling Naho your customer, I don't think you can really say you were her friend. Her voice was breaking with rage. But even if that hadn't been the case, my face must have read like a book. This icy bitch may have had only one expression, but I sure didn't.
あらあなたは客って言葉に対して随分と偏見を持っているのね。取引を行う以上私はそこに最大の誠意とクオリティを提供する。
Oh my, do you have something against that word? When I deal with my customers, I give them a guarantee of the utmost quality, and I dedicate myself to their satisfaction.
つまりそれがパートナーとしての信用でフレンドシップにも負けないものだと思っているけれど。
It's an unbreakable bond of trust, like one you would have for a partner. And that's not always something you could say about a friendship now, is it?
そんなこと。
That's... I had no idea what to say. It seemed like Aiko was used to this sort of thing. Her response felt carefully rehearsed, like a sales pitch. Finally, Kishinuma broke his silence.
あんたよ、昨日篠崎を助けてくれたことは感謝するけどよ、金やなんかの見返りのためにそんなろくでもない情報を拡散させるなんて旗迷惑だと思わねえのか。
Hey, I do want to thank you for helping us save Shinozaki yesterday, really. But spreading dangerous information just to pay the bills. How the hell can you sleep at night?
情報は情報よ。それ自体に罪はないわ。道具と同じ。それをどう使うかは使い手の問題でしょ。
Information is just that. Information. It is harmless on its own. There's no good or bad. It's like a tool. It's up to the recipient how it's used.
その気になれば、その辺にあるコップでも人は殺せてしまうのよ。
I don't think it'd be harmful in the wrong hands, after all. Why, that cup over there could be used to kill a man just as easily as any knife.
なあ、詭弁じゃねえかよ。
Hell, it could. That's bullshit and you know it.
あなたもそう思う？あゆみちゃん。
Amy, do you
愛
agree?
子さん、ごめんなさい。私はあなたの考え方嫌いです。無責任だと思います。
Aiko, I'm sorry, but I hate the way that you think. Jesus fucking Christ. I feel it's irresponsible. The expression remained calm and collected overall, but her eyes blinked several times in rapid succession. It was the first outward sign of emotion we'd seen from her.
やれやれ、ひどい嫌われようね。慣れてるけど悲しいわ。
Well, now it seems I've come to be regarded as something of a villain here. I can't say this is new or unexpected. It never ceases to be disheartening. Aiko quickly shrugged off her sudden outburst and was back to her usual icy self.
天神症は俺らがぶっ壊してきたからいいけどよ。
Doesn't matter now anyway. We destroyed Heavenly Host. It's gone. An awkward tension filled the room, or at least our table.
本題に入りましょうか。私があなたたちに近づいた理由、伝えたいことについて。
Let's get down to business then. There's a reason I sought you out. Something I wanted to discuss with you. Aiko produced a thick, hard-bound file folder from the light blue bag she had brought with her. She opened it to reveal several documents of a questionable nature. Among them were what looked like a family tree, as well as numerous pages featuring black magic symbology, or images that looked like tree branches.
黒魔術の文字対応表、篠崎家の家系図。
Black magic spell charts. This is the Shinozaki family tree.
少しショッキングなことを伝えるわね。
You may find what I'm about to tell you a bit shocking. I was looking directly into my eyes now. Her gaze was fixed, intense, and unblinking.
さっき岸沼くんが言ったことだけれど、間違いよ。
What Kishinuma said a moment ago was incorrect.
あ？何がだよ。
What do you mean?
天神小学校は壊れてなどいない。今もまだ存在し続けているのよ。
Heavenly House Elementary has not been destroyed. It still exists even now. Who's surprised?
これを見て。
Couldn't be me. Look at this. Aiko's sprites are so cute. I want everyone to know. I just keep staring at her. Oh, it's fucking, what's her name? Yuki? Yui? No, it's Yuki. Because her eye's gone. Aiko placed a black and white photo on the table. It wasn't the clearest of pictures, but there was no doubt the location it depicted was Heavenly Host Elementary. There's a hatchet and a book. In the picture, a small girl could be seen standing in front of an all too familiar hallways, holding a hatchet in her right hand.
天神小学校。
It's Heavenly Host.
なんだよ。これ。
Where does this come from?
やっぱり。これは私が念写したものよ。力が足りなくて少し不鮮明ではあるけれど、今現在のあの空間、天神小学校の様子。
We have confirmation then. It's a thoughtograph I've taken. I didn't have the power to produce a clearer image, but this is the current state within Heavenly Host.
一体どういうことなんですか？
I don't understand. What am I looking at? Can't even describe what was going through my head at that moment. I felt like I was about to burst. Aiko, however, remained calm as ever while recounting her story.
順を追って説明するわね。まず、昨日の例の赤い箱だけれど、開けると、このレーグが出てきたの。
Let's start at the beginning. First, the red box from yesterday. After some time, I was able to open it. I found these spirit items contained within. The box I had found at Makina's futon. Inside were apparently two stones resembling magatama, comet-shaped ceremonial objects from Japanese antiquity. Also included in the box were several more roughly hewn stones, as well as a lining along the edges consisted of crumpled pieces of thin white paper.
残念ながら箱の中でほとんど割れていたけれど、この一組は無事だったわ。
Unfortunately, most of the box's contents were broken or damaged. This pair, however, was still fully intact. It's the symbol! I kinda like them though. They look like they'd be cool earrings. They looked almost like a demented version of the yin and yang symbols, puzzle pieces that were clearly built to be slotted together. Aiko now held one stone in each hand, and was motioning them toward one another as if to drive that point home.
霊具というのはね、簡単に言えば死者の思いが込められたもののことで、
Spirit items are, in the simplest terms, items which have been infused with the thoughts and feelings of the dead.
物に閉じ込められた霊、またはその生前の記憶が持つ者に永遠と泣き言を語りかけてくる愉快なものよ。
Those who bear such objects will be visited by the spirits within them, or at the very least, be forever privy to their memories and earthly laments. It's a wonderful thing.
私はこう見えて無類の霊具コレクターでもあるの。
I may not quite look the part, but I'm actually quite an avid collector of spirit items. You do look the part, though. Like, if anyone, it's gonna be you. Probably because they already know about her. From Sweet Sachiko. Kishinu and I briefly locked eyes again. We shared the same look of bewilderment. Aiko's personality is much more twisted than either of us had initially perceived it to be.
この子の意志を読もうとするとね、呪わしい声と一緒におさげの少女や廃校の風景が見えてきたのよ。
I tried to get a fix on this little girl's thoughts, but in doing so, I heard a vengeful cry. Saw an image of a girl with braided hair in an abandoned school building.
で、気になったからこのカメラに。
My curiosity having been piqued, I took out this camera. At this, she produced an old instant camera and placed it on the table in front of us.
私の念を映してみたの。それがその写真。
And tried to take a photo of the image in my mind. The result is that shot.
私がこの霊具を使ってその時の今現在を念写したものよ。過去や未来の時間を超えた念写は私にはできないから。
This particular spirit item only allows me to produce images from the exact moment in time where the picture is taken. The past and future alike is beyond its reach. I examined the photograph in greater detail. The chill ran down my spine. There was absolutely no denying what it depicted. No. I was actually shaking.
篠崎幸子を失ったあの学校は私たちが逆落ちで脱出した際に崩壊したはず。
Without Sachiko Shinozaki, the school should have collapsed. It should have ceased to exist as soon as we escaped.
でも寸前のところでとどまったってところかしら。私に語りかけてくる声の主がまだいるのかもね。
I believe the collapse was halted. Perhaps right on the brink even. Maybe because of the person to whom that voice I heard belongs. Aiko motioned toward the photo in my hand.
例えば写真の女の子とか誰かしらね、この子。
It could even be the girl in this picture. I wonder who she is. It's Yuki. As it was beginning to dawn on me, a sudden cold sensation exploded through my body, and I shuddered as I was trying to shake off the encroaching realization.
あの地獄みたいな場所がまだ存在してるってのかよ。
God damn, you really think that hellhole is still around? Kishino leaned forward. The conversation was clearly beginning to engage him a lot more than it had.
その天神小学校、いえ、学校の形をしたあの異空間だけれど、ナホちゃんに紹介した手前、私も気になって調べていたの。
Heavenly Host Elementary, or rather the dimensional space that took the form of Heavenly Host Elementary, fascinated me from the moment I introduced it to Naho.
あの異空間の正体はね、涅槃という死後の世界に近い磁場なのよ。
I began to research it independently, and learned that its true identity is, well, something like a new nirvana, another world, or hereafter, another worldly plane of death.
普通はこの世とは別の次元に存在するものなのだけれど、
Though ordinarily, one tends to think of there being only this world and the next. A new nirvana.
ええ、篠崎義恵については知っているわよね。
That's correct. You know about Yoshie Shinozaki, do you not?
はい。
Yeah.
篠崎の家、 ヨシエの診療所に黒の本と呼ばれる魔導書ブック・オブ・シャドウズがあったことも。
And of her clinic, the Shinozaki estate, wherein the grimoire known as the Book of Shadows was located. Yeah. Why? How could she know about that? A million thoughts, a million questions were running through my head. I was speechless. All I could do was sit there and hear her out. It was like a muffled scream, or moan of agony. The sound you make when you want to make a sound, but you're barely able to. Some guy named Saiji is going through it. That was a little more forceful. Accompanied by thrashing, it had caused a nearby table leg to fall over and roll along the ground. Please, dear, come now. You need to stay calm. This was Yoshie Shinazaki's clinic. Yoshie herself was on top of her husband, holding him down with both of her hands. She continued her Shinto purification chant. To prevent Seichi from biting off his own tongue, he had been gagged with a towel. Needless to say, he wasn't looking particularly well. Not far from where this was occurring, Sachiko stood aghast, trembling as she watched the proceedings with hesitant, sidelong glances. Okay, I did not get a lot of that. Izanagi no Okami, who visits the underworld and beholds our foul spirits, guide us to the cleansing waters of the Tachibana and the Oro no Ahakiara shores of the land of Tsukushi. Saiji, still collapsed on the floor, was clearly suffering. His body was bent in the most unnatural shape, and he was fervently clawing at his neck. I beseech thee, in the name of the divine virtues of the gods gathered here, to wash away the sins we've committed and the impurities that dwell within our minds and bodies. Sachiko's father screamed through his gag, foam beginning to froth out from his edges. He was going into cyanosis? Ghostly images of the Shinozaki women from ages past spiraled down upon the event from the ceiling, laughing and mocking his suffering. Worse still, some of the women had traditionally blackened teeth, giving their smiles an unintentionally sinister edge. The atmosphere within the room was heavy, as if spirits occupied every empty corner, dancing and flitting about freely and joyously. Saichi's body sharply bent and began convulsing. Come to the world. Multitudinous? I have no idea what the word is. Okami of Harendo. Dear, stay with me, dear. Mayoya no Mitama. I beg of you, please do not take him. Her great-grandmother, Sarah. Lucia? No, Sarah. The head of the Shinozaki family. is among the black-teethed women, laughing joyously at Seiji's suffering. Daddy, Daddy! His voice began to weaken. His convulsions began to lose strength. Finally, the last spark of life had left his body. His eyes rolled back into his head and all movement ceased. Daddy, why aren't you breathing? By the way, welcome back, Pikachu. It's been a while since you've been here. Sasuke looked up, eyes glazed over with tears. Yoshie, too, shaken with grief and despair.
霊能力者の血筋篠崎の者と結婚した夫は必ず早々の死を遂げる。呪われた家の運命に抗えなかった義恵は
This is what it means to be a Shinozaki. To be part of the cursed bloodline. All men who marry in are guaranteed to die quickly. Not even Yoshie can circumvent that fate. And Yoshiki wants to be with Ayumi, so he's probably not very happy about that news. So she turned to the forbidden book, an item she and her family had been protecting for generations from those who might misuse it. The Grimoire. The Book of Shadows.
愛する者を失う。そのことを恐れるあまり黒魔術に頼ったの。まさに荒唐無稽でバカな話よね。
To lose a loved one was a fate she feared more than anything else, so she tried to offset it through black magic. It was an act of truly absurd foolishness.
ヨシエ自身もすがれるものなら何でもいい程度にしか思っていなかったと思うわ。
She must have cared for him so deeply, she would have literally done anything to see him again, no matter the cost of her own immortal soul. Aiko stared deeply into my eyes, seemingly fishing for a reaction in her tale.
ところが、まさか信じられないことが起こる。
But then what happened next was almost beyond belief. I continued listening, unknowingly stroking the wound on my thigh, as unpleasant memories of my own foolish run-in with the black magic resurfaced.
ヨシエの体に流れる篠崎の血筋。その強い霊力に想像もつかない何かが呼応してしまった。
The Shinozaki blood that flowed through Yoshie's veins was more powerful than anyone could have known. Its energy spawned something more, much different than what Yoshie intended.
それは
By which, of course, I mean. I intuitively knew what she was going to say.
ヨシエの術で本の中から呼び覚まされた何か。それは涅槃。
From the book, she created a new nirvana.
未来永劫、死者と共にいられる場所、死後の世界を切り取った空間がこの世に生まれてしまったの。
There, one could coexist with the dead for all eternity. It was a new dimension cut from the netherworld itself, forcibly born onto the world of the living.
ヨシエはもう半分正気を失っていたのね。一人娘の幸子を現世に残して、自分は夫の魂と共に生涯をそこで添い遂げようとした。
Yoshie must have lost half of her sanity right there. She tried to leave her only child, Sachiko, in the real world, while living with her husband's soul in the new nirvana. The land of corpses.
ところが、涅槃には意志があり、ヨシエの手でコントロールできるものではなかったの。
However, this nirvana had a mind of its own. Yoshie couldn't possibly control it, Shinozaki or no. I knew that all too well. Just like Yoshie, I experienced my own tragic failure with black magic at the Shinozaki clinic.
黒魔術には障害反動がある。夫の魂はバラバラに飛散し、ヨシエの命も消えかけた。
Black magic has its own blowback of sorts. Her husband's soul was split apart and scattered in all directions, and Yoshie's life, too, was on the verge of being snuffed out.
自分の愚かな行為を悔やみながら呼吸を止めようとしたその時、
She knew she'd made a mistake. She deeply regretted it. And as she took what she could have only assumed to be her dying breath,
底なしに霊能力の強い一人娘幸子が涅槃を丸ごと体の中に飲み込んだの。
her sole daughter, Sachiko, in possession of a nearly limitless spiritual power, absorbed the entirety of this new nirvana into her body.
幸子が
How the fuck? The poor girl collapsed to the floor, violently thrashing about as the weight of the entire dimension crushed her from the inside. This action had saved her mother's life, certainly, but death would have surely been preferable. Picking herself up, Yoshie rushed to her daughter's side in tears.
幸子、さっちゃん、あなた
Sachiko, Sachi, why?
お母さん死なないで、お母さん。
Mommy, don't die, Mommy. Both parent and child were bawling, pain mixing with relief, mixing with pain again. Little girl buried her face into Yoshie's bosom and just cried and cried. Yoshie grasped her tightly in both arms, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. By this point, Sachiko's body had begun producing a dark blue aura.
ごめんね、さっちゃん。ごめんね。お母さん間違ってた。
Sorry, Sachi, I'm so sorry. Mommy was
お
wrong.
母さんにはあなたがいるわ。もうあなたを置いていこうだなんて思わないから。
Mommy has you. So from now on, Mommy will never leave you. She'll never even think of leaving you again.
あなたも知っての通り、幸子も篠崎家当主長系の血を引くサラブレッド。
As you know, Sachiko is a direct descendant of the Shinozaki line. A thoroughbred.
ヨシエを超えるほどの霊能力を持っていたのね。涅槃を丸ごと体内に封じ込めるなんてものすごいことよ。
It means her power is greater than Yoshie's. It had to be, of course, for her to house an entire dimension within her body. Aiko took a big, noisy sip from her coffee mug. With that, took a sip of your gamer juice. Fuck yeah, let's go.
当時ほとんど最強の霊能者だったんじゃないかしら。まだほんの小さな子供だったけれど。
At the time, she must have been the strongest practicer of the dark arts in all the world, little girl or no.
でもその幸子が死んでしまって。
And despite that, she wound up dying.
そう。保健医ヨシエの転落事故と同時に幸子が行方不明になった。50年前のあの事件。
That's right. The same day Yoshie fell and died, Sachiko disappeared. That was 50 years ago now.
あれは校長による殺人事件でした。
They were both killed by the principal,
やはりそうなのね。
just as I suspected.
校長が余計なことをしでかしたおかげで幸子の中に吸い込まれて封印されていた涅槃が復活し、あの異空間天神小学校が生まれてしまったのよ。
The principal's heinous actions are to blame, then, for resurrecting the new nirvana within Sachiko and creating the closed spaces we know as Heavenly Host Elementary. Probably because the school was the site of Sachiko's violent demise, and her nirvana took on its form.
とはいえ復活した涅槃も資料として蘇った幸子の力で再び抑制されて、やっぱりその支配下に置かれていたようだけれど。
Yet even then, with Sachiko reborn as a spirit in that realm, she was still all-powerful, seemingly continuing to exert complete control over it.
幸子がいろんな力を使えたのもその涅槃の影響だったのかしら。
I guess that's why she was able to manifest so many different horrible things in there. was all starting to make a sixth sort of sense. The pieces were falling into place and painting an absolutely awful picture. I showed it to myself as I considered it.
現在はあなたたちが脱出の際に幸子を取り除いてしまったから、涅槃は再び暴走状態になっているのよ。
When you escaped, you removed Sachiko from the equation, but the Nirvana remained, and is going berserk once more.
なくなってしまえばよかったのに。あんな危険な場所。
Should have just disappeared. The world would be better off without it. This entire conversation was a roller coaster of emotions for me. At this point, I was just angry. Angry at everyone involved in the whole ordeal, myself included.
さて、ここで少し突飛な話をするわよ。ついてきてね。
Now then, if I may, I'd like to discuss something a bit more outlandish with you.
はい。
Okay.
死んだ友達にまた会いたい？
Would you like to see your dead friends again? That certainly got our attention. We both perked our heads up
涅
immediately.
槃で死んだ霊は成仏できずに囚われ続けるというわ。お友達の魂だってまだあそこにいるかもしれない。
Spirits that have died in that nirvana are said to roam its grounds, trapped and unable to find rest. As such, your friends' souls might still exist in that plane.
実はね、黒の本ブックオブシャドウズにはいろんな魔術が書かれているの。
There are actually a number of useful magics listed in the book Shadows.
ヨシエの使った涅槃を生み出す術の他にも反言の術というものもある。
Aside from the spell Yoshie used to create the new Nirvana, there's also a spell of revival. Nakashima and I knew about that one all too well.
命を無理やり戻すなんて敬虔な宗教家に言わせれば神のおぼし召しに背く背徳の行為だと言われそうだけれどね。
Wishfully returning alive to this plane is, of course, dreadfully taboo, and is considered an affront to the will of God by virtually all religious organizations.
Huh?
Kishinuma seemed a bit more confused than he probably should have been, though I suspect the look on my face may have had something to do with that. Perform that spell, the very one Aiko was describing. It took hours, failed miserably, and killed my sister. All at once, the guilt returned. I lowered my head solemnly. Aiko grinned at me. I had the same suspicion it was because she somehow knew what I was thinking, though I couldn't be sure, and I certainly didn't know how she would.
けれどそんなものはクソくらいよね。冒涜も破壊も何でも来いよ。
Still, who cares about bullshit like that, right? It could be blasphemous. It could break every commandment. Bring it on.
死んだ友達を生き返らせたいんでしょ。
We'll do whatever it takes to resurrect your dead friends now.
だったらあの本を探し出し天神小学校でもう一度あの術を行えば成功する可能性は飛躍的に上がるんじゃないかしら。
All you have to do is find that book and cast the spell once more within Heavenly Host Elementary. Your chances of success would be much, much higher there, don't you think?
おいあんた、何無責任なこと言ってやがんだ。またやばいことになったらどうすん。
Hold on, do you have any idea what you're saying? What happens if things get even worse? I didn't exactly mean to interrupt Kishinuma, but quite honestly, I didn't even realize he was talking. I was too focused on what Aiko had just
あ
said.
なたは知っているんですね。
You know about it, don't you? Oh, sorry.
私と中島さんのヨシエの家での失敗を。
You know about it, don't you? A failed attempt at Yoshie's place, me and Nakashima. Aiko tilted her head at me. That same wry smile creeping across her face. She got from cold and motionless to knowing and expressive in a mere
あの
instant.
時のことは夢幻だったと思っています。
I don't think we really believed what was happening to us. It was like a
あ
dream.
りえないものを見てありえない体験をして私はおかしくなっていたって。
What we saw was impossible. What we experienced was impossible. I thought I was going insane.
してはいけないこと、あんなこともう忘れたいの。
It shouldn't have been possible. We shouldn't have done it. I just want to put all this behind me.
でも現実だった。
But it was real. Aiko pointed at the scar on my neck, which went one step further and lightly brushed with her hand. I could feel that touch deep within my soul. I suddenly found myself swallowing my next breath, practically choking on thin air.
人が本来触れることすらできない世の常識の裏側にあなたは手を突っ込んだのよ。
See? You came in contact with something ordinary people could never even imagine.
今さら逃げられると思う？
Do you really think you can just turn tail and run from that now? Look down again, trying my best to avoid Aiko's gaze.
私にそんなことが。
Do you really think I can do it? When had I started crying? I raised my head again, intent upon looking deep into Aiko's eyes as she answered my question. She looked so blurry through my tears. I could tell, though, that she was smiling at me. It was that same expression, her new standard.
そんなことで何？
I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Can you be more specific?
みんな
Can I really?
何？あなたの口からちゃんと聞きたいな。どうしたいの？
Yes, yes, what is it? I want to hear you say it. What exactly is it that you wish to accomplish?
生き帰らせ
Can I bring everybody back? I don't want this.
よく言えました。
What the fuck? Nicely done. Aiko patted my head, as one might a dog's, after a successfully performed trick.
黒の本が生み出すのは魔女の英知が起こす奇跡よ。それは運命をもねじ曲げる力。
What the grimoire produces are miracles, spawned from the wisdom of the witches. And these miracles hold the power to bend fate.
たとえそれが確定した運命であろうともね。
Even if that fate is set in stone, so to speak.
あなたは強力な霊能者の家系、篠崎家の末裔。日野江さんがいない今、これはあなたにしかできないことかもしれない。
You are a descendant of the House of Shinozaki, a family of immensely powerful practitioners, there it is, of magic. And since Hinoe is no longer with us, this is something only you can do. My confidence was being bolstered by the minute, though in retrospect it was likely Aiko's aim. Nonetheless, if there were still something I could do for my friends.
だけど肝心のブックオブシャドウズがどこに行ったのかもわからないし、それに
But wait, I don't even know where the Book of Shadows is anymore. Plus,
幸子を失った天神賞には幸せの幸子さんのおまじないではもう行けない？
you're no longer able to travel to Heavenly Host by the way of the Sachiko Ever After ritual. Now the Sachiko is gone,
そう
correct?
だと思います。あの学校で菅野由紀ちゃんという女の子に聞きました。
Yeah, that's right. That's what Yuki said anyway. Or Yuki Kano, a girl from the school. Aiko once again placed the bluish-white Magatama stones from the box in either hand, this time fitting them together. They're not quite the way they're supposed to interlock.
そこでこれよ。
That's where these come in. I hate it!
それは一体
What are they?
ものすごい霊力を持ってる。さすが篠崎の霊具ね。声が教えてくれたわ。
They house an exceptional amount of spiritual energy, as one would expect, given that they are spirit items from the Shinozaki line. The voice I heard told me about
こ
them.
れは幸せの石。
They're called Ever After Stones. Whoa, no way!
幸せの石。
Ever After Stones. I'm just gonna say no and just end the game. I leaned forward despite myself. The name sent a shiver down my spine. But now that I've heard it, I had to know more.
この石は2つで1つなの。これをパズルのようにくっつけて 涅槃よ死人を迎えよと唱えれば触れている者みんながいつでも天神小学校へ飛べるわ。
These two are one, fit them together like puzzle pieces and chant Nirvana, I summon the dead. And all who are in direct or indirect contact with them will be spirited away. We both flinched at her chant, but Aiko just smiled. She must have intentionally oriented the stones the wrong way, so the charm wouldn't activate.
戻る時も同じ。
It's the same when you return. She tossed the stone she was holding in her right hand into her left, where they clacked together with the other.
不思議でしょ。この子が教えてくれたのよ、この方法。
Strange, isn't it? This girl taught me the technique herself. Aiko gazed longingly at the stones. She was clearly utterly enamored by them. It seemed as if they were key factors in unleashing her newfound emotional expressiveness. But her focus was elsewhere. Without a doubt, the items Aiko now held in her left hand were extraordinarily dangerous. Possibly the most dangerous, horrific objects in the entire world. However, while Aiko was ogling them in her left hand, her right was feeling around for something in her breast pocket. She slowly removed it, producing an old black and white photograph. When had she taken that? It was the same photograph I'd seen at Makina Shinazaki's house the previous night. It depicted a young Yoshie alongside her mother and Makina.
10代だった篠崎義恵はおばのマキナのことを慕ってよく家に遊びに行っていたそうよ。
When Yoshie was in her teens, she adored her aunt Makina and would often go over to her place for a
世
visit.
界的に有名な霊能師の家系である篠崎家。ここならと。
The Shinazaki family, world famous for the spiritual abilities. And this is when it all started.
ヤゴーラ教会の生き残り。ヤゴーラの沖縄が危険だからとマルトバから盗み出してきたブック・オブ・シャドウズを預けに来たんだけれど。
The surviving elder of the Yagora society felt it was too dangerous to leave these items with the Martabas. So he came here, daring to steal the Book of Shadows away from them.
それが揃うと危ないからと石はマキナが本はヨシエが預かって保管することに決めたそうよ。
But he felt it would be even more dangerous for the book and the stones to remain together. So while he gave the book to Yoshi for safekeeping, he gave the stones to Makina. Yagwara Society? Marubas? I never heard those terms before at all. And then there's that damn Book of Shadows again. Why did that have to keep coming up? 'Cause it's an important book.
あなたたちはあの学校から篠崎幸子を取り除いた。それによって大きな可能性が広がったわ。
Remove Sachiko Shinazaki from the school, and in doing so you created the perfect storm of
これ
opportunity.
までのような一方通行ではなく現世に戻ってくることができる。この世のものではない異空間心霊スポットが生まれているの。
Two-way travel to and from that dimension is now possible. It's no longer a one-way road. A new spiritual hotspot, something not of this world, has been born. She thrust the ever-after stones toward me triumphantly, and continued to make her pitch, growing more excited by the second. I was legitimately speechless. What could I say?
わかるかしら。まさにあの場所は宝の山よ。
Don't you see that place is a gold
こ
mine?
れまで眉唾、嘘800と笑われていた霊魂の世界への扉が開いたの。世界中のオカルト研究が一気に加速するわ。
People can no longer claim the world of spirits is fake, or that spiritual investigators like myself are lying. It's all different now. Cold research can be legitimized.
私はね、商売としてあの空間へ人を連れて行くツアーコンダクターをやろうと思うの。
I'm considering bringing people to that cursed dimension on tour if I can, to make a little extra cash. Kishinuma and I both reacted to the same preposterous suggestion with a start. She couldn't possibly be serious, could she?
ヤホちゃんのブログからは片白のデータは削除したし、あの手段ではもう飛べない。行く方法は私しか持っていない。
I deleted the proxy doll data from Naho's blog, so no one will be able to jump that way anymore. Only I possess the means to enter that place now. What could she possibly have been thinking? I wanted to stop her at once. I wanted to take those stones and break them right there on the spot, before anyone else got hurt.
私はね、ツアーを運営するにあたって安全を確保したいの。
When I begin conducting these tours, however, I want to make customer safety my top
あゆ
priority.
みちゃんはお友達の霊を探したいでしょ。だったらあの空間の再調査は共通の目的にならないかしら。
And you seek your friend's spirits, do you not? While reinvestigating that dimension, could help you reach that goal. Our destinations are the same, Ayumi. Aiko leaned in as she spoke, her breath, scented with the sugary sweetness of the extravagant desserts we'd been eating, tickled my nose.
ね、あゆみちゃん。私と一緒にもう一度天神小学校に行ってくれない？
So what do you say? Let's go back to Heavenly Hills Elementary together one more time, shall we?
本来は片白を引きちぎる方法でツアーをやろうと思っていたんだけど、こんな便利なアイテムが見つかっちゃったんだもの。これはもう運命よ。私やるわ。商売にする。
I really wanted to conduct tours using the paper dolls, but I missed my chance. Now, though, I have these lovely stones. I feel this must be fate, and I can make a business of it. Aiko seemed like she was on top of the world, but that just made me all the more disgusted with
ど
her.
うかしら。
So how about it? On the other hand, she was offering me a chance to save our lost friends, and however remote that those chances might be, it stacked the odds frustratingly in her favor. So couldn't just say yes, but also couldn't say no. Honestly, I resented Aiko for putting me in this position. I glared at her for a moment before I said anything.
すぐに答えを出せるわけがないでしょ。考えさせてください。
I can't answer that right now. Give me some time to think it over. I'd almost forgotten Kishinuma was there. Sudden waves of guilt washed over me. He had an absolutely incredulous look on his face. I couldn't bear to see it, so I looked
ブ
away.
ックオブシャドウズだってどこにあるかわからないし、そもそもその石だって本当にそんな力があるかもわからないじゃないですか。
We don't know where the Book of Shadows is anyway. Plus, how do we know those stones can actually do what you say they can?
実際に試したわけじゃないのでしょ。
There's no way you could have already tried it, right? Aiko smiled. She oriented the two stones so they'd form a perfect yin-yang symbol. Slotted them together once again. Immediately, the stones began glowing with a bluish-white hue, and a stream of energy started to form around her.
マジかよ。
Gotta be kidding me. Aiko continued smiling and looked directly into my eyes.
いいわ。ゆっくり考えて。この石はもちろんまだ試していないからどれだけ危険かわからないしね。
No need to decide now. Think it over. Yes, it's true. The full range of the stone's power has yet to be tested, so the true danger is as of yet undetermined. She slowly separated the two stones as she said this. The energy surrounding her dissipated.
篠崎家の血筋、篠崎真希菜の家で発見されたんだもの。きっと信憑性も霊言も新たかな霊具に違いないわ。
But they are from the home of Makina Shinozaki, a prominent branch of the Shinozaki tree. Their authenticity and credibility of my intelligence is hard to dispute.
すげえな。ちょっと見せてくれよ。
Hell of a thing, can I see him? Kishinuma didn't wait for an answer. He grabbed the Ever After stones from Aiko's hands and began examining them carefully.
あの箱の中にこんなものが入ってたとはな。
Hard to believe this was in that box.
あんたさ、まさかこの石を独り占めしようなんて考えてねえよな。
You weren't planning on keeping these stones all to yourself, were you? Aiko seemed taken aback by the question. Way to go, Kishinuma. You managed to catch her off guard.
これを見つけられたのは半分は篠崎が体張ったおかげなんだろ。
Half the credit of finding them is due to Shinozaki risking her skin after all. Aiko seemed to ponder these words for a moment.
じゃあお互い勝手に行けないように一つずつ持っていましょうか。
Well then, let's make sure neither of us can go by ourselves. We'll each keep one of the stones.
わかりました。ちょうだい、岸沼くん。
Alright, give me one, Kishinuma.
おう。
Sure thing. Kishinuma plopped one of the stones in my hand, then slipped the other back into the drawstring pouch Aiko had brought them in and closed it up.
うん。
There. He then casually handed the pouch back to its rightful owner.
その気になったら連絡をちょうだい。そうね。サービスとしてブックオブシャドウズの捜索は私も手伝ってあげるわ。無料で。ね。
Feel free to give me a call anytime you'd like. Don't worry, I'll even help you find the Book of Shadows, free of charge. Aiko flashed us the biggest, most gregarious smile I think I've ever
あの
seen.
本さえ見つかれば一緒に行ってくれるのよね、あゆみちゃん。
And when we do find it, you will go with me, won't you, Ayumi? I closed my eyes and gave something like a half-hearted half nod, throwing my head without raising it again. It was interpreted as a yes, but I'm not sure I meant it that way.
じゃあここは私が出しておくわね。
Good. That being the case, it's on me today. Aiko got up and grabbed the check.
いえ、私も出します。
No, I'll pay for mine. Took out my wallet. I had no desire to owe this person anything. Aiko just
そ
smiled.
れじゃ割り勘ってことで。
Dutch it is then.
そうそう。これは私からのプレゼント。
Oh, yes, I almost forgot. I'd like you to have this. Aiko handed her Thoughtograph to me.
嫌だわ。そんなに構えないで。これは無料で差し上げるわ。だから安心して。
Now, it's not going to bite you. And I'm not asking any money for it. So please, just take it with my blessing.
最低だよ、あの人。
I despise her.
ああ。
Me too.
鈴本さんや篠原さん、森重くん、ゆい先生、みんなのことが終わったらこの石はすぐに壊すから。
Suzumoto, Shinohara, Morishige, and Miss Yui. As soon as I'm done with those four, I'm breaking the stone.
ああ。その意見には俺も同感だ。両方ともぶっ壊す案だな。
Yeah, I'm right there with you. But make sure to break the other one, though, too, while you're at it. He's been waiting for his cue. Kishinuma pulled the other stone from his pocket.
岸沼くん？
Why? Kishinuma.
あの学校のヤバさも知らねえで浮かれてやがったからな。こっそりいただいてきたぜ。
She doesn't know what it's like at that school. I mean, she was actually getting excited about going there. So I helped myself while she wasn't looking.
岸沼くん、すごい！悪い人！
Kishinuma, that's amazing. You're terrible.
緊急事態によりやむなしだ。けどよ、篠崎。こう言っちゃなんだが、生き返らせるとかその。
Hey, serious business calls for serious action. Though, Shinozaki. I don't know how to say this exactly, but about the whole resurrection thing.
鈴本たちのことはもう考えない方がいいんじゃないか。
The whole situation with Suzumoto and the others should probably just be left alone, don't you think?
無茶ばっかしてお前がまた死ぬ思いするとかよ。鈴本も結衣先生も篠原も森重もみんなよ、そんなこと望んでねえと思うんだ。
Gone through so much already, and have come really close to dying. I don't think any of them, not Suzumoto, Miss Yui, Shinohara, or Morishige, would want that.
でも、そうじゃないかもしれない。
But that might not be true.
いい加減にしろ篠崎。サトシや中島がどんだけお前のこと心配してると思ってんだ。
Damn it, Shinozaki, just stop. Do you know how much Satoshi and Nakashima have been worrying about you?
ごめんなさい。
I'm sorry.
でもお願い岸沼くん、もう少しだけでいいから私の気の済むまでやらせてお願い。
But Kishinuma, please. You have to understand, I just need a little more. I need you to humor me for just a little bit longer, okay? Just give me this.
Hey. 行くよ。いいか。一人じゃダメだぞ。こっちは俺が預かっとくからな。
Fine, but listen, you're not doing it alone. I'm going to keep one of the stones. Okay. It'll be alright, you know. I turned my gaze up to meet Kishinuma's. My eyes must have looked like saucers, windows into the mind full of worries, ideas and fears, spread on by this unexpected turn of events.
なんかあったらすぐ連絡しろよ。前みたいに目つぶって突っ走って勝手に死にそうになってんじゃねえぞ。
If anything happens, don't hesitate to call me, okay? I'm here for you, and I don't want you blindly rushing into dangerous situations like you did yesterday.
俺だってお前一人くらい守れる自信はあんだからや。
I may not be able to offer much, but I'm confident I can at least protect you from harm. Kishinuma patted me on the head reassuringly as he said this, and I had no idea how to react. Well, with that, it's not even letting me do it. Whatever. I have to end this episode here because it's going on for a bit too long. So, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully, I'll see you later.